Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I don't think I've ever seen Anna Devane carry this much emotional weight on her shoulders, and that's exactly why this storyline has me glued to my screen. Freedom should have been the beginning of her healing, but sometimes life doesn't work that way. As folks here in America like to say, old ghosts die hard, and it sure looks like Anna is learning that lesson the hardest way possible. The moment I heard these new spoilers, one thought kept running through my mind. If Anna can't trust her own eyes, then nobody around her is truly safe. After everything Anna endured in captivity and that psychiatric hospital, I figured coming home would finally give her a chance to breathe. Instead, she's bringing home something far more dangerous than physical scars. Peter may be dead, but in Anna's mind, he's still standing right beside her, whispering poison into every quiet moment. That, to me, is far more frightening than any villain carrying a gun. When your own thoughts become the enemy, every decision can turn into a disaster before you even realize what's happening. What really caught my attention is how Peter's influence could destroy one of the strongest bonds Anna has left. Under normal circumstances, she'd trust Valentin Cassadine with her life. They've survived too much together for that connection to disappear overnight. But when someone is trapped inside a nightmare they can't wake up from, trust becomes the first casualty. I can easily picture Valentin trying to explain Ross Cullum's psychological manipulation, doing everything he can to convince Anna that Caesar Faison is truly gone for good. The heartbreaking part is that logic may not matter anymore. If Peter's voice keeps telling Anna that Valentin is lying, then every reassuring word Valentin speaks could sound like another deception. That's why I believe their reunion may end up being much more tragic than romantic. Instead of finding comfort in the man who has always understood her, Anna could begin seeing him as the very threat Peter wants her to believe he is. I've watched enough General Hospital over the years to know that fear has a nasty habit of turning good people into unwilling weapons. When someone's reality is falling apart, they don't always recognize the people trying to save them. The biggest warning sign for me is the summer preview, hinting that Anna will carry out a deadly plan while also influencing Valentin's future with Carly Spencer. Those two clues don't feel random. Put them together and it starts looking like the writers are building toward a heartbreaking confrontation where Anna becomes convinced that eliminating Valentin is somehow the only way to protect everyone else. That's the kind of twist that leaves me shaking my head because, as we say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. If Peter succeeds in twisting Anna's judgment one final time, Valentin may find himself facing the woman he loves without realizing she's no longer fighting the same battle he is. I just can't ignore the biggest problem in this entire story, and that's the fact that Anna isn't truly free yet. She may have escaped captivity. She may have walked out of that psychiatric hospital. She may even look like the same fearless Anna Devane we've known for years. But from where I'm sitting, none of that matters if Peter is still sitting inside her mind, whispering in her ear every chance he gets. That's the kind of prison you can't unlock with a key. As we like to say, your worst enemy can sometimes be the one living between your own two ears. Every time I think about Anna trying to move forward while carrying that burden, I honestly feel more worried for her than excited. The hardest part for me is imagining the battle taking place inside Anna every single minute. On one side is the woman who has spent years loving Valentin, believing in him, and seeing the good that other people often missed. Those feelings don't simply disappear because life becomes complicated. They're still there somewhere beneath all the confusion and fear. But on the other side is Peter's constant manipulation. Every lie he feeds her chips away at her confidence. Every doubt he plants grows into something bigger. Before long, Anna may not even recognize which thoughts belong to her and which ones belong to the nightmare Peter has created. That's what makes psychological manipulation so frightening. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens little by little, until the victim starts believing the lies are actually their own ideas. I can easily picture Peter taking advantage of every vulnerable moment Anna experiences. Whenever she hesitates, he'll probably tell her that hesitation is weakness. Whenever she remembers a happy moment with Valentin, he'll likely twist that memory into something suspicious. If Valentin tries to comfort her, Peter could convince Anna that he's only pretending to care so he can get close enough to uncover her secret. The really heartbreaking part is that Peter doesn't need proof. He only needs Anna to question herself. Once doubt enters the picture, it becomes much easier to convince someone that even the people they love are plotting against them. Then there's the possibility that Peter starts pushing an even darker idea. What if he convinces Anna that Valentin has figured out she's seeing hallucinations? I can almost hear the twisted argument forming in Peter's mind. He could insist that Valentin will expose her condition, that he'll decide she's too unstable to make her own choices, or that he'll take control of her future before she has a chance to protect herself. None of that has to be true. Fear rarely waits for facts. Fear only needs enough uncertainty to make impossible ideas sound believable. And if Peter keeps insisting that Cesar Faison is somehow still alive despite everything Valentin says, the situation becomes even more dangerous. Imagine Anna standing there while Valentin calmly explains everything Ross Cullum did to manipulate people, trying to reassure her that the nightmare is finally over. Under normal circumstances, Anna would probably listen carefully, ask questions, and eventually trust the evidence in front of her. But Peter changes the rules completely. He could convince Anna that every word coming out of Valentin's mouth is another carefully planned lie. Suddenly, reassurance becomes deception. Compassion becomes manipulation. Love becomes another weapon. Watching someone lose their grip on reality that way would be absolutely devastating. What really scares me is how quickly Peter could transform Valentin from Anna's greatest source of comfort into the biggest threat she believes she has to eliminate. That's the kind of tragedy General Hospital does so well. The danger isn't coming from a stranger hiding in the shadows. It's growing inside someone we desperately want to see recover. Anna wouldn't be acting out of hatred. She'd be acting out of complete emotional confusion, convinced she's protecting herself or even protecting the people she loves. That's what makes this possibility so painful. If she raises a weapon against Valentin, she may honestly believe she's doing the right thing. Then my thoughts immediately go to Charlotte Cassadine, and that's where this story becomes even more heartbreaking. That young girl has waited so long to have her father back in her life. After everything Valentin has sacrificed, seeing Charlotte smile again should have been the beginning of a happier chapter. Instead, I can't help feeling that happiness may be painfully short-lived. Charlotte is probably looking at her father and thinking the worst is finally behind them. She has no idea that the real danger may be standing only a few feet away, hidden behind Anna's familiar face and the invisible grip Peter still has over her mind. What makes this even sadder is that Charlotte would never expect Anna to become a threat. Neither would Valentin. They've built years of trust, loyalty, and shared history together. That's why any confrontation between them would be completely unexpected. Valentin might lower his guard because he believes he's standing beside someone who loves him. Anna might step closer because she thinks she's protecting everyone from a danger that exists only inside her damaged perception. Those are exactly the kinds of misunderstandings that leave lives permanently changed. I've been watching this show long enough to know that General Hospital loves emotional twists more than simple action scenes. A gunshot or a physical fight may last only a few moments, but emotional wounds stay with these characters for years. If Anna is pushed into making an irreversible choice because Peter has poisoned her mind, nobody truly wins. Valentin becomes another victim of manipulation. Charlotte loses the father she just got back. Anna would eventually have to face the unbearable truth that she wasn't fighting an enemy standing in front of her, she was fighting the darkness growing inside her own mind. That's why I believe this storyline could become one of the strongest emotional stories of the entire summer. It isn't really about whether Valentin survives. It's about whether Anna can find her way back to herself before Peter steals the last piece of her judgment. I'm rooting with all my heart for Anna to break free, but I have to admit these spoilers make me nervous. The closer Peter pushes her toward violence, the harder it becomes to imagine everyone walking away without their lives changing forever. And if there's one thing I've learned after all these years of watching General Hospital, it's that the saddest tragedies are the ones where love is still there, but fear gets the final word.